please welcome the head of social VR from Facebook, Rachel Franklin.
Hi. So I'm excited to talk to you about virtual reality as a platform that's based around people. Now, we know that virtual reality is special because it gives you this magical feeling of presence. It's the way to be with someone that you care about when you're not actually physically together. And we at Facebook believe that this is a platform that is built around people. And we think that there is an incredible amount of work that we need to do to come together to build experiences where people can share with people they care about in a way that's different than anything that's been done before. So now you all know how immersive and how real virtual reality feels. Well, when we have a selfie stick in VR, people smile every single time, for real. One time, we had a bug in our software. It was early days, and we had two people, and their avatar hands got stuck together. So they couldn't stop holding hands. And incredibly, they found themselves blushing. And the guy even said, "Hey, I think I need to go home and tell my wife." So even though it's you in a headset, it's still you in VR. You're connecting with others in a more immersive way as an extension of who you are. And the technology actually lets your humanity shine through. So at Facebook, we see three primary building blocks in order to build this basis of the people-first computing platform. The ability to be yourself in VR, with friends and family, in a space where you can create anything or bring things into your space to spend quality time together. Now, based on these building blocks, my team just released Facebook Spaces in beta. And it's the first Facebook product we've built to start bringing our vision of VR as a social technology to life. It's available in the Oculus Rift early access section of the Oculus Store, available for Oculus Rift and Touch. And Facebook Spaces is a place for you to be yourself in VR, with your real friends, no matter where you are in the physical world. And all of the people and the photos and the videos that you interact with on Facebook are brought into the virtual world with you. So you can also bring yourself into Facebook Spaces. And this was a huge challenge for us. We had a breakthrough where we used machine learning in order to quickly suggest some options for your avatar's identity. And these are based on your Facebook photos. So when you join Spaces, you'll find AI-generated avatar options that are waiting for you to come in and choose. And then, of course, you customize it until it's comfortable to you. Then you can invite your Facebook friends into your space. And there you have interactive ways to have fun together, like drawing in the air with a virtual 3D marker. You also have your entire library of 360 photos and videos from Facebook at your fingertips. You can pull them into your space and experience them together in VR. So this is showing me and my friends because I wanted to be an astronaut when I was little, and I never did make it to space, but I can tell you there's nothing like seeing the vastness of outer space all around you with your best friends. And of course, there's a selfie stick. So what about when you can't be in VR with your friends? Well, we've integrated Messenger. So you can actually call them, they can answer on their phone, and they can easily instantly open a window into your virtual world and be there with you. And all of this was built with Unity. It's already been awesome to see how much fun people are having with their friends in VR and being themselves. But even more exciting is that there's so many more possibilities for us to build activities and experiences that people can have together in VR. So imagine if you had a virtual boombox that you could just grab and pull into your space, and all of a sudden it would play your personalized playlist in Facebook Spaces. Or what about virtual card games or tabletop games? What about a pool cue that instantly transformed into a pool table? So we're exploring how to build the foundation of Facebook Spaces with a few early partners, and their creativity is absolutely astounding. There's so many cool things we can do. So we know you understand the transformational potential of virtual reality. And let's ask ourselves, when we have a VR platform that is based around people, what will people want to do with their friends and family? It opens a whole new way to think about building experiences that are more immersive and more seamless and more natural than ever before. There's so much more for all of us to learn about social virtual reality, and we can't wait to get there together with you. Thank you.
Please welcome producer from NFL Films, Jason Weber.
All right, is everybody ready for some football? All right, well, I'm here to talk about the NFL and VR, but first, quick show of hands. How many people here remember football on film before 1962? Maybe, no? That's what I figured. I don't remember it either, but why don't we take a trip back in time? Roll the video.
$52,000 brave the rain in the Coliseum as the Rams become the first team in the league to play before more than them shift into high gear on the first scrimmage play. Johnny Unitas twirls a long pass upfield. Ray Burry's under it, and he pulls it in to complete a 62-yard beauty that puts Baltimore inside the Ram 20.
So you see old-timey announcer, marching band music, kind of newsreel stuff. Then in the early 60s, NFL Films came along and turned the coverage of football on its head. Football is essentially performed on a stage, one that's 100 yards long by 100 feet wide, 160 feet wide. And what Ed and Steve Sable, the founders of NFL Films, wanted to do is bring people at home as close to that action on that enormous stage, get as close as possible. And this is how we've done it over the last 50 years. Now, off the field, it has meant bringing cameras and mics into locker rooms and meeting rooms as major decisions are made. You're about to see here.
Now, you're saying, there it is, Greg's being a again. No, I'm trying to figure out how I can help you make this team. We haven't said that in the rooms yet, evidently. The 100th time. We've said it 99 times, but the 100th time we're going to get it because all the colleges in the country and all your moms and dad, nobody's supposed to holler at any of you guys anymore. People that have enabled you your whole life, they're disabling you for your future. When you don't do what you're told to do, you get fired in other jobs. You'll get fired here too.
Very true, and I would hate to have been in that room. All right, so that sense of intimacy, what you just saw right there, we've brought to the masses, and it's helped to fuel the enormous growth of the sport from the 60s to today. So the promise of VR or 360 video as a tool of creating intimacy and empathy, two things at the core of NFL Films' philosophy as storytellers, really excites us. We began testing and shooting VR in 2015, working with companies like Jaunt, NextVR, and what we quickly found was that bringing the elements of intimacy and empathy to a 360 film focusing on football game, that's a big challenge. And at the heart of the challenge is that enormous 100-yard by 160-foot stage. Now, a big reason why you're seeing so much basketball content in VR is just how close you can bring cameras to the action. All right, you can get a courtside seat or maybe mount a camera next to a backboard or on a backboard. And when you're dealing with 360 cameras that are 8 to 14 millimeter lenses, proximity to the action is key. So when we decided to release VR content publicly in 2016, we took all this into careful consideration. To us, highlights rather than a full game broadcast was the obvious first step in creating compelling VR content, giving us the chance to showcase the best plays from the best angles available to our VR cameras. And we have a little example here, but what I'll say is we worked with NextVR and Voke and created packages of plays that best showcase the technology, and they were edited together to include on-camera hosts guiding viewers through the action. This was a big educational process for us, and it continues to be important as we look to build user engagement in this medium. Now, when it came to a storytelling component, and that's what we consider our bread and butter at NFL Films, and really where 360 video can shine, we wanted to stay away from focusing on highlights of the game and tell personal stories. So together with Google, we developed the first VR feature series called NFL Immersed, which would become the featured component in the first league-specific VR app on Google's Daydream platform. Now, with this series, we told the stories of our players, our fans, and even our NFL Network talent as they prepared for a game. We placed cameras in the middle of workouts, and we placed them in meeting rooms as well, as you see here. And on game day, working with our clubs, we were able to place cameras next to the bench, capturing not only the sights, but the sounds of the inner sanctum of the NFL. Also place them in the end zones. So what does the future hold for VR in the NFL? We're going to continue to work with our clubs and players to bring fresh and intimate content both on and off the field. We also know that this is a rapidly evolving medium, and we want to work with innovators, like Unity, and use the latest VR technology to bring more intimate experience to our fans. How will some of these innovations translate to how we shoot? Well, we've seen 360 footage from SpiderCam used at college level and tested on our fields, and it holds a lot of promise for exciting angles of the game in 360. We've also just announced a partnership with Intel around their volumetric capture technology. And while it's in the early stages, we see a lot of potential in creating unique and immersive content there. NFL Immerse just wrapped at the end of the regular season, but we've continued to shoot in 360. In fact, we're demoing one of our pieces here at Unity, so please check out our booth. And I'm going to leave you now with something we shot at the Super Bowl and hasn't been seen in public. It's the first public view of the game-winning touchdown of Super Bowl 51. Thank you very much.
Second and goal to go from the 2. Toss sweep right for James White. Tucks it under the right arm. Cuts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. A touchdown and a title for the Patriots. They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.